run the world like I. Yes, God run the world, but in my eyes I run mine. Zoom. Easy to go. Will Reezy be as good as he? I mean, my life is so great, I could only be as good as me. Could I ever slam dunk like LeBron? I guess the equivalent is to any type of track that I'm on. Can he run the NOLA like hot buzz with Tote? I'm Tucci, man.
All right, what's up, everybody? Matt here from Around Square, and just gonna run through our product launch items for this month. It's May 2025. Got the product launch happening May 30th. That's this Friday. And yeah, I got some really nice stuff happening and can't wait to share it with you. So I'm going to start with these guys here. You know, the Nano Bead MK Ultras have been a favorite in the range for a really long time. I myself have claimed several pairs for myself. I don't often do that. I try to limit a little bit the number of sets I take for myself, but yeah, the nanos are just so good, and I like them in pretty much all the materials. They're just really nice for pretty much everything. You know, they're smaller and lighter weight than most of the beads, so they're nice for flipping, even in the heavier metals, and even in the long form length. And they're really nice, really smooth for raindrops. And I've always liked the way that they sit on the wrist as well. They're kind of lower profile, but have that like slightly modern, like a little bit different look than just the standard round beads, right? Anyways, the nanos have been a favorite for a long time. We've restocked them a bunch just in their regular form. But this year we ran out of the titanium beads, and we decided let's do something a little bit different. You know, the nanos were originally designed as an insert to go inside our micro standard beads to give a little bit extra weight for those. You can see that in arbiglary sets like the Poco Locos, where the nano fits inside the micro standard. Because of that, we didn't really care when we first made them about the rounding or the edges. And I'd say, you know, if there was one knock against the original nano beads, it would be that the edges can be a little bit sharp feeling. They're not sharp, but they're just like a little bit edgy, right? And so we decided this year when we did a restock of the titanium beads that we would just increase that rounding ever so slightly. And I'm going to show us side by side here with an old brass set of mine and the new titanium ones. You can see ever so slightly rounder on the edges. And what that does, it just makes them just a little bit more soft feeling in the fingers as you pass them between your fingers, if you're counting beads or that sort of thing. And similarly, when you're doing raindrops, you don't have that feeling of the edge quite as much as you do in the original version. Okay, now we still have the original nanos in the range, and my plan is to continue selling the original nanos until the inventory runs out. And so what we're doing, we've got the standard kind of long form setup and the standard short form setups of the original nanos still in the range. And we're introducing these new titanium nanos. We only have the tie right now. We're introducing the new titanium nanos in this configuration. So this is going to be a chef special for this month. We've got an 11.8 millimeter bead and a 17 millimeter bead, and 25, I believe, 25 of the new nanos. So that compares, I think, to 23 for the short form. But the difference here with the double boss and the longer length of string is you just get you get a setup that has a lot more versatility for playing, because you have that extra exposed length, and it's got really nice weighting. Okay. So I've been really loving these. I don't think we've ever done the nano beads in the sandblasted titanium before, so this is the sandblasted finish. This is the set that I claimed for myself. You can see it's already got a bit of a shine to it because I've basically finger polished it. The fresh sandblast looks like this. We've got also a machine finish, looks like this. And for the first time, we've got something that we've offered in the Mini Sigmas before. This is the sandblasted and black PVD coated Shinobi finish. Okay, again with that polished double boss 11.8 and 17 millimeters. And then just for something a little bit extra different in the Chef Special this month, we're also doing this arrangement. This looks pretty rad with the large manga for the boss. Okay. And this one, you pretty much don't even need to split packets because the double boss is nice and hefty. So it actually is a really nice, like, kind of asymmetrical set that's almost like a set of asymmetrical Begleri, but it's got all those beads at one end, and of course you can slide them down and wear them on your wrist. Okay, so that's pretty funky. All right, so that's it for the new titanium nano beads. We're gonna stick with the MK Ultras for a moment here because I want to also talk about. We did something similar with our 8mm beads a while back. We did, I think, a droplet Chef Special, kind of in that medium length setup. And that was because we had the new 8mm beads that have the smaller bore. And we've done exactly what I planned to do with the nanos. We kept the standard versions in short and long form available in the store. We're starting to sell through them. We've got a handful of brass and copper sets, a handful of brass sets, short and long form. I don't think we have any more copper left. We've got very small number of titanium ones left. And then we've got a bunch of stainless steel beads that we haven't strung up yet. But these ones all have the 3.5mm bore. And so I've decided to put these guys on drop pricing just to kind of give people a chance to grab them at a little bit cheaper price. Hopefully move through some of that inventory so we can bring in the new 8mm beads with the 3mm bore to make that kind of the replacement product for this original setup. These are still great, still one of my favorite sets, and it just has that 3.5mm bore, which I've decided to shift over to the 3mm bore going forward. But these guys are still awesome, and it's going to be a great price if you want to grab some. Okay, and while we were doing that, one of my guys suggested that we also consider putting a sale price, drop price on the 6mm beads. So these have been in our inventory for quite a while, and they're the smallest beads that we sell, 6mm, and we do them on the 1mm Kevlar cord. And people they were really popular when we first launched them, and then everybody's kind of forgotten about them, I think, but they're still super rad. We don't sell many beads like this, but it's like if you want kind of that smaller bead look on the wrist, these are terrific, and they actually flip pretty good. The short form ones are definitely harder to flip because they're very short, very light. But the long form ones, just as a casual set to flip, you can still do all the tricks with them, right? And they're so lightweight, just super fun. So we've got these guys. They hold their own on raindrops as well. Okay, so we've got these in. I've only got these ones, I think, in a handful of the colors still. We've sold out of a lot of them. But yeah, these guys are going to be available at their original launch pricing as well this month, the 6mm beads. Okay. Okay, and that's it for MK Ultras. Let's move over to talk about knuckle bones. Back when we first launched our knuckle bones, I think the very first release might have been brass, and then we followed that shortly with Delrin and some wood options. And the wood options have been like among the most popular for since those beginning times, just because they're so nice feeling, with the wood grain. They're light in the pocket. They play really well. You can do everything with them, and they just disappear into the pocket because they're so lightweight, but just like satisfying to play and hold. So we've had the commitment over the years to keep the wood ones in stock, but it's been hard. We've changed suppliers a couple of times. We've eventually come back around to working with one of the original suppliers that was making them for us, and they've been doing a really nice job. So we're now in a position to start restocking kind of more of the woods, and we're going to do that this month for the first time in ages. We're having the purple heartwood back. So you can see here, it's a kind of a heavier, also very grainy textured wood, but the standout feature of these is the nice dark kind of purple color of them. We're also restocking our ebony version, which is another one of the heavier woods. Good solid feeling, nice smooth grain on these guys, and yeah, they both turned out beautifully. So these are representative of the color range. So the purple heart is definitely nice rich purple. The ebony can change, batch to batch. Can have some that are like dark black, some that are kind of more like Zebrano, almost like mixed colors. These ones are pretty much all this kind of dark, rich chocolate brown, but you can see the striations of the different layers of wood grain there, some of the rings. So you get like dark and light in here. It's just not super contrasty and pronounced. Okay. So we've got these guys in the regular size. And then we've got, it's been a while since we've had the large size beechwood in stock. So we're doing that this month. And we've had requests for other woods in the large size. And we decided to do ebony in the large size as well for this month. So this is, I think, probably the heaviest wooden knucklebone that we've ever had. And it's really nice. Like I don't usually play the large size myself, but they're still really light, still easy to carry in the pocket. But one nice thing about these large ones is you can see it there, they carry the momentum really nicely. And so if there's certain tricks that you're learning, like, flipping it over the thumb, or even like sonics, just having the little bit extra length and the little bit extra weight, it kind of pushes the weight out, and it makes it that kind of rocking back and forth motion that you need for doing sonics a little bit easier. So if you don't have super small hands and you're trying to learn some new moves with your knuckle bones, consider these larger ones, even if you haven't before, because they're fun and it's like I said, a little bit easier to get the feel for some of those moves. All right, so we got those guys, and then we've got a special edition this month that I've been keeping in this bag right here. This is from our friend Jake over at Grain Theory, and he and I have produced another round of collab K-bones, and you can see the double logo here with the calipers and the AO2 logo. These are green sandalwood. They smell awesome. And unlike the other knuckle bones that we're doing this month, these guys here are all polished. These are raw grain. Jake tends to favor that for his production, and I can see why. It's very, very nice feeling. You got that raw wood feel, and you end up kind of getting the satisfaction of doing the finger polishing. So they end up looking like reasonably polished, and with all of the kind of highlights that pop when you polish it over time. But just using the fingers to kind of let the bone evolve over time is a satisfying process in and of itself. And especially with the green sandalwood, it feels really nice. It's such a nice, like, kind of a velvety feel to the surface. They're finished really well, like sanded nicely. Anyways, we have a limited number of these, and they're going to be in a separate product listing from the other wood knuckle bones. But yeah, grab them. And green sandalwood is a material that we're bringing into more and more of our range, so expect more of this stuff in the future as well. All right, so that's it for knuckle bones, and I'm going to now move over to talk about a few exotics. So I've been teasing this set here online a little bit the past few days. These are the Mokutai mini hydras, and I'm so giddy over these. They're just stunning. They play and feel beautiful, and I just can't get over the finishing. The colors and the grain just pop so nicely. But especially, I'm really loving the new shape. So similar to what we have done with our new nano beads, we decided this time when we do a restock, we're going to kind of just up the rounding radius on the edges of these beads a little bit. So, back in the day, I was very conservative with the number of exotics that I produced, and especially with the numbers that I claimed for myself. The very first exotic set that I actually claimed for myself was a set of mini hydras, which was, and probably remains it was for the longest time, my absolute favorite bead design. I thought that nothing would ever surpass it for me. And so it was with a little bit of reservation that I finally decided I was going to claim an exotic set for myself. But I knew the mini hydras were going to be the one that I did. And this was, by the way, the first set that we ever did in Mokutai. So this is my old, very beat up set. I've actually refinished these once, and they still are looking like this. But you can see how the Mokutai material ages over time. It does kind of lose its sheen, and the color is kind of dull a little bit, but you can still see the grains and stuff in there. Okay. Well, compare that to the new model, and you'll see not only just like old versus new and color saturation versus dulled color, but you're going to see the rounding radius on the edges. So hope that shows up nice and clear in the camera for you. But it's just that much more comfortable to hold them and feel them, and just reduces the bite a little bit when they impact the fingers, impact the knuckles. Just have that little bit more rounded edge compared to the originals, which I never found it to be a problem with the originals, but I sure do enjoy it with the new set. Also, I have this this old set on 4mm Kevlar cord. This is on, I can't remember the gram weight, but it's this is our thickest silk cord, and these are going to ship on silk cord, as most of our exotic stuff does. Okay, so these guys, you know, it's a absolutely beautiful set. I'm super happy with how they all turned out. We did reject a couple of the pieces just with like little dots and like kind of discolorations, so the factory's going to refinish those for us. But yeah, the vast majority of the pieces turned out absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to share these with you. It's you know, it's rare for us to kind of do a new run of a exotic like mokutai, zirkutai of something that we've done in the past. I usually, you know, am more inclined to favor doing like something different, a different bead design that we haven't done in mokutai before. But a couple of people have been asking about mokutai mini hydras, just because it is such a beloved bead design, and it still is. When people ask me, you know, for my first set of beads, you know, if I only want to get one set of like really good, like say titanium, Bigleri, what should I go for? I almost always recommend the mini hydras, just because they're great for all skill levels, and beginner all the way up to advanced players, and they've just got so many nice little features. They're just an excellent weight, nice size for moving between the fingers. They have the double bead design, which I always feel like that kind of lessens the impact, so it kind of makes them a little bit less punishing on the fingers and knuckles, just because the two beads kind of there's a little bit of give when they smack into things because the beads slide against one another. So it's just a great all-round design. It's got that 1-to-1 aspect ratio, and yeah, these guys are just beautiful. Okay. Next up, we've got a couple of zirkutai or exotic donut hollows. So the donut hollows have been super popular. It's a really nice feeling little metal object to carry around with you, and surprisingly interesting for the fingers. You know, there's lots of little tricks that you can do. You can do your griffin rolls, and you can do lots of stuff that you do with the dead eyes, like the isolations. But then the stuff that people became interested in the hollows for originally, just kind of rolling them between the fingers and folding them over and over. It's just a very like nice kind of low key shape to keep in your hand or in your pocket when you're sitting at the dentist or in line at the grocery store. And yeah, I knew from the time I did the first batch of these in titanium, I knew I was going to eventually be doing exotics, and they're finally here. So we've got them in zirc, full zirconium, as well as zircutai with the striations and kind of awesome grains. One thing I want to mention about these guys is they are ever so slightly, like we're talking like 0.2 or 0.3 of a millimeter thinner than the regular Deadeye hollows. So we actually had rejected the production batch of these because we felt like they were a little bit kind of flattened out. And what the factory ended up doing, we kind of compromised with them, and they ended up kind of repolishing them and re-rounding them. So now they're fully, you're not going to feel like they're squished or anything. But the kind of slight compromise on those is that in that process, they had to kind of shave off the tiniest amount of material. Honestly, when I put them side by side with my other Deadeyes, I can't see them. But when I pick it up, I play with these enough that my fingers are really like attuned to the smallest of differences. So I do feel like there's a perceptible difference in the size, but not so much that it feels like a different object, but just there's kind of a full disclosure type thing where I don't want people to get it and think like, there's something Matt's not telling us. No, I'm telling you, and they're still great. Like, we paid the factory full price for them and everything. We didn't like try to get a discount because they did turn out just like absolutely beautiful. I'm super, super happy with them. But that's just like the one thing that I wanted to mention. All right. So we got full zirc, which is nice and hefty, and zircutai, which is similar to the weight of titanium, just a tiny bit heavier than full tie. All right. we got those guys, and we got one last exotic item for you. And this is one that people have been kind of coveting since I first posted the teasers online. This is the Damascus steel demi plank. And yeah, as far as the plank series go, this is like gotta be, I don't know, like it probably has become my favorite. I hate to say, you know, I love anything more than anything else, but I just, in terms of what I find myself grabbing for, I usually favor titanium stuff, but just the weight and the feel of this Damascus demi is so nice. The grain, you can probably catch it in the video here. It does have an actual texture to it. So what that means is that when you're playing it, you're feeling that texture. So it's really nice just for you know, rubbing, like as a kind of a worry stone, like rubbing your thumb on it or feeling the grains. But it has that added benefit of when you're flipping it or, you know, moving it between the fingers, you get that it's not like, it's not rough on the fingers. It's but you feel the texture. And it just adds to the control. You can probably imagine how it might feel just to have those grains gripping the fingers a little bit. So it's not grabby the way a polished surface would be. You just feel that little bit of texture. It's kind of like a reverse fingerprint, like on the other side, right? And it just adds that little bit of extra grip. But yeah, you know, I don't sell these things trying to claim that they're good for manipulation or technical flow. Some people have been you know, proving me wrong, coming up with wicked tricks and stuff that you might have seen on Instagram. But I still use these primarily just as a low key kind of, you know, an extra little thing to have in the pocket that I pull out for a little bit more idle movement, not trying to impress anybody with crazy flows or combinations. It's more just kind of a personal item that I like to keep around because I like the feeling of it in my hand. All right. So that's the Damascus demi. This one's a little bit beaten up just because it's the only piece that we have in hand right now. The rest are coming, should be here this week. But yeah, it's been seeing a ton of use from me. Okay. Now, staying with the planks, we are finally restocking the Altum plank. So this is the full-size Altum. And these guys were you know, super popular, super pretty. And we've been having a lot of people asking about the machine finished version, because the machine finished Altum also looks super, super nice and has a different feel, right? This has that kind of tacky, like grippy, polished surface feel, which some people love. Some people love the aesthetics, but they don't love the feel. Some people just prefer something different. And so we talked to the factory many times about getting more machine finished pieces in. They really, the factories have really struggled to get nice looking machine finished Altum for us, because, you know, you have that kind of transparency. But then the machine finish, because they do it in different steps and stages, you end up getting some lines that are a little bit more pronounced than other lines, and it just doesn't look nice. So what we decided to try, we said, like, hey, why don't you try sandblasting one of these and see what happens? So they did that, and they turned out really nice. So this is like kind of like very similar to the machine finished, but without the machining lines. So it has that feel, that kind of satiny, soft feel to it, but you don't see any of the machine lines, and there's no kind of variations that are that break up the smoothness of the surface. So it's like a very uniform finish, and I'm really, really liking them. One thing I want to tell you about these guys is they don't come out of the box looking like this. They come out of the box looking like this, which is like, you may not be fully impressed to open a package and see something looking kind of cloudy, like ever so slightly blotchy. This is because they're sandblasted, and there's like the tiniest bits of little powder and stuff on it. So I'm going to show you something in this video. Check this out. Okay. So how you get from this to this is just playing with it a little bit. Okay. So it doesn't take much. And I'm not, basically, we're not going to rub our hands all over your product before you get it. We're going to let you guys have the satisfaction of doing that. But yeah, when you get your product and you see it come out of the box looking kind of cloudier than what Matt was showing in the video, I'm just explaining to you why that's the case. And within like a day or two of playing with it, just the oils from your hand and a little bit of movement between the fingers is going to, I don't know if it's like a little bit of dust from the sandblasting or if it's just like that extra texture on the surface. I don't know what exactly that comes from, but yeah, it changes very quickly from that white cloudy looking color to this smoother, more kind of characteristically Altum looking color. Okay, so these guys are really nice, and yeah, you're gonna love them. Anybody picking up one of the new sandblasted finishes, I'm sure everybody's just gonna really love the feel. And then yeah, I do have a light here. I was gonna say, shine a light through them. Yeah, they're really cool. All right, so that is the Altum planks, and I think I've just got one more thing for you guys this month, and that is these guys. So I talked about the bags that we were selling. You know, way back we did like the monk bag, we did the clutch sling, and I said that there was a third project, and this is that third project. So this is a bag that's maybe it's for you, maybe it's not for you, maybe it's for somebody else in your life. But when we were talking around the office about kind of what bags people wanted or used in their daily life, like the team was all in agreement that a decent little tote bag was a handy little item. So this may or may not replace a grocery bag for you. They're not big and beefy, but it's an round square tote with a nice embroidered logo. We got 2 colorways, and there's a few little features. You know, they're kind of a U shape with a nice wide mouth to make things easy to put in and take out. They've got a big beefy strap that you can carry in your hand or throw over your shoulder, and the strap does go all the way through and around the bottom to make them capable of holding lots of weight. You know, you're not going to bust the bottom out of these. So they're really well made, just like you'd expect from us. Got 2 nice colorways, and yeah, we're going to be offering these just as another alternative. So grab one, throw in your car, grab one so that somebody else you live with might get a little bit of joy from the round square package that comes in the mail this month, or don't get them at all. But we're pretty pumped on them, and we've been using them a lot, definitely around my house, and you know, I think they're gonna become a staple in the range. All right. So guys, yeah, I think that's everything for this month. Just a little reminder, we've got our video contest Cut Contra coming up, like already, I think it's next week already. So yeah, get those clips in. If you don't know what I'm talking about with Cut Contra, get with the program. Go check it out on our website in the news section. That's our blog. You'll see a post about Cut Contra. And we've actually got a new platform where we're going to be hosting submissions for that contest this month. So it's going to be a little bit different from the contests that we've run in the past, but I'm really pumped for it. It's a video editing contest where you film yourself doing a couple of skill toys and put an edit together, bring in a little bit more of the artistic side rather than just relying on the technical skills. So I'm excited for the entries. It doesn't have to be a round square product. And yeah, more from me on that in the coming week. But in the meantime, product launch Friday. All the stuff.
Some Adidas on my feet, my mama necklace on my neck. From the NOLA to the world, from the bullion to the milk. Talk my shit and walk my shit like this because I love myself. I'm saying, damn, I look good.